Hello everyone, welcome to the second video of learning Swift language. And previously we just talked about what is Swift and some basic rule of declare constant variables, semicolon, comments, this really basic rule of the using Swift language. And today we'll keep going to introduce some really basic rule of the very basic elementary of the Swift language. And still using the Xcode as a platform to utilize in your Swift language. So first, we open the Xcode and still using the playground. Okay. And first of all, I'm gonna talk about is the integer and integer bound of Swift. So Swift provide signed and unsigned integers in 8, 16, 32, 64 byte forms. So what's that mean? That means that you can declare a constant or variable. For example, that number, which is a constant, is type of int 32 byte forms equal to 4. Okay, and you can also let the second number is a type of unsigned int 8, which is equal to 5. Okay, so and you can also access the integer, like the signed integer 32 byte form, the maximum value of it, and you can also access the minimum value of the unsigned integer 8, so which will indicate the range of the unsigned of 8 byte form and the unsigned value of integer 32. Okay, so how could we find that? So for example, we let the number is equal to integer 32 dot max. Okay, so that means let a constant number equal to the type of integer 32 maximum value. Okay, so which means that let the number equal to integer 32 maximum is like the value of the integer 32 is a range. So we can print it out to say what is the number is. And you can see the maximum number, the maximum range for the integer 32 byte form is such a big number. You can see on the output window. Okay. Okay. So secondly, I'm gonna talk about the type safe and type inference. So what is type inference? Type inference is to work out the appropriate value when you don't specify the type value, which means the Swift will automatically detect what you typed in the window in the Xcode, and to infer it as some specific type. For example, if you let a number, first let me comment the previous part. By using a multiple line comment. Okay, so if you let a number equal to 3, at that time the number is inferred to be type of int. Okay, so if we let pi to equal to 3.14159, so at this time pi is inferred to be type of double. So what's that mean? So what is double? Double is a floating number point. So when you type something have decimal point, for example, like 3.14159, like 2.1, 2.2, the Swift gonna automatically invert it as a floating number with type of double, okay, instead of float. So what is the difference between double and float? Double is a 60-byte form, but float is a 32-byte form. Okay, and in Swift is more preferred to use double instead of floating. Okay, and next I'm going to talk about the type safe. So what is type safe? Type safe basically is like the you can't add a double to a number. So if we let number let's talk about total equal to number plus pi, okay, and we print total, okay. See, it will cause error. What is error? So it's binary operator plus cannot be applied to operands of type int and double. So different type cannot be added together. So I will talk about the difference. If you change that to like you let total 1, for example, is equal to 3 plus 3.1415. That works. That works. Okay. This is works. Okay. So but why the total is not work? Because the number on the pi is specified. So you cannot add the specified two different types together. Okay. But in the total 1 is just a number added together. The 3 and the 3.1415 is not specified, so they can add it together. Okay. So this is type safe and type inference of the Swift. So and there is one more concept. It's a literal value. What is literal value? For example, let the number equal to 3. 3 is a literal value, which is like the value that directly appears in your source code. Is called a literal number. Okay. So next, we're gonna talk about the boolean. So it's b. Oops. Okay, booleans. Booleans is a value which refer to be on logic. Okay, because it can ever be true or false. So it can it's kind of like yes or no. So it's like the whether can be true or whether can be false. For example, if you want let cheat, as we know, is a false action, right? And the let do by yourself is a true. Okay. Not turn. Okay, it's a true number. Okay. So it can only be true or false, and we can use something like if statement. We will like cover it in the after videos, but I will mention some of these. So if is a kind of conditional statement, so it's check whether this is true or false. If do by yourself, okay, as we know it's true, right? So it's true, it will be executed. So we print good job, okay, right? And else when print what? So no cheating. So in this case, hold on. Okay. Okay, in this case, so the if is a conditional statement is checking whether it's true. Okay, so do by yourself whether it's true or not. It's true, right? Because we defined previously, so it will execute the next line code. So we print good job. So else, what it means else? So it means when do by yourself is false, we execute no cheating to print that out. So if we change this to the cheat, okay, so the if statement will first to check cheat is true or false, check cheat is true or not. Obviously, it's false, right? So it will just skip the first step to the second one, so else. So it will execute the second statement, so which prints no cheat. Okay. So as you can see from the output window, no cheat. Okay. That's a Boolean. It's a kind of logical value, whether it can be true or false. But you don't need to declare constant or variable as Boolean if you set them to true or false, which means if you let cheat is equal to true, you don't have to specify, oh, okay, this is a Boolean. You don't have to, because only true or false is a Boolean. Okay, so you don't have to specify, okay, cheat comma a column and it's Boolean and equal to false. There is no need to. Okay. Whether a number is equal or whether constant or variable equal to true or false is just automatically a Boolean. Okay, so that's a Boolean. And after that, we will talk a really important concept in Swift. That's called optional. So, what is optional? So this concept is totally different from C and Objective-C or Python. It's just represents two possibilities. So optional is like there is a value you can unwrapped access it or isn't a value at all. So that's optional. So Swift optional let you indicate the absence of value for any type at all. So I will give you an example that will better help you to understand that. So first off, if we let 1, 2, 3 is equal to a string, okay? Oh, oops. Is a type of string, okay? Actually, no need to. It's a string. It's automatically inferred. So it's a string, and we want to convert. We let a constant convert number. And we want to convert the string to an integer. We use okay. We want to convert that. So can that be executed? So let's see. We print it out to see whether it can be converted or not. Okay. So what would be the output? See, in the output window, it's telling you optional 1, 2, 3. So what's that mean? So when you want to convert like 1, 2, 3, it can be converted because it's a string and it is actually 1, 2, 3, and the 1, 2, 3 string quotation mark can be converted to a number, actually number 1, 2, 3, right? But however, the hello words, this kind of thing cannot be converted. Okay, so if we change it to hello word, okay, it will be arrow. So what's that mean? Because hello world cannot be converted to an integer because it contains no number in this string. Okay, so it will be nil. Nil, what is mean by nil? There is no value. Okay, in the Swift, nil means there is no specific value. Okay, so there's no value in 1, 2, 3. Okay, If we change it back to 1, 2, 3, see, it will cause error. See, there's a warning on the right part. What's that mean? It's expression implicity. Okay, so it asks you what is int. Okay, how do we deal with this problem? So how do we unwrapped this part and to access the value 1, 2, 3 to actually get the value 1, 2, 3? We use another thing which is called the exclamation mark. Okay, so we use exclamation mark. So when we provide exclamation mark over there is 1, 2, 3. So what is the exclamation mark means? The exclamation mark is effectively says, okay, I know that this option definitely has a value, and please use it. Okay, that's the meaning of the exclamation mark, which is also called the forced unwrapped. Okay, the forced unwrapped, forced unwrapping. Okay, so when you want to convert a string to an integer, the Swift will check is this can be converted or not. Is this string actually contains some numbers or not? If this contains a number, it will give you an optional. So optional means what? Optional means is there a value, specific value 1, 2, 3, or there is no value at all. Okay, clear? Okay, so and also we can use the if statement to check whether an optional contains a value or not. So what do we compare? We compare the if statement to the nil. So as we can see, it's do you remember that I just said that nil is represents there is no value, right? So if okay, convert number is not equal to 0, nil, okay? Then we print convert contains some integer of what? Convert number. Okay. Okay. See? So what this statement means? It means if, which is a conditional statement, okay, to check if the exclamation mark equal, which is in the mathematical means not equal. If we want equal, this, okay, but in this part we use not equal. So and the control flow I will talk about in the after course, but after videos, but this just mentioned. You don't have to really understand that, but it's you have to know it's just a conditional statement, and it will check the convert number is whether or not equal to nil. It's whether to check the convert number is whether or not has a value inside. So as we can see, the convert number, we want to convert it to an integer, right? So there is a value, there is numbers inside the string, which is 1, 2, 3. So it's not equal to nil, okay? So you want to print it out, okay? So it's printed out the value inside the strings, okay? So if statement is to find out whether an optional contains a value by comparing the optional against the nil, okay? And I just talk about these two parts. The first part is about the forced unwrapping, and second part is the if statement to check there is a value or not by comparing to the nil, okay? Thirdly, I will talk about the implicit unwrapping. Optional, okay? So what is implicitly unwrapped optional? Implicitly unwrapped optional are useful when optional value is confirmed to exist. So you confirm to exist a marked value, right? So okay, let me comment out. So implicitly unwrapping optional is first is are useful when optional value is confirmed to exist. And when you write implicitly unwrapped optional, we normally by replacing the question mark to the exclamation mark, okay? And after the value is implicitly unwrapped, okay, the value can be assumed to exist at every point in time. So what does that mean? I will talk about example. For example, let the possible number is a type of string. Okay. So quotation mark. What's that mean? So you can always use the tip that I told you. It's like when you press the option, which is on the keyboard of the lower left part of your computer, you can check. So what's this? It's an optional string. So what is optional string? It means that a possible number is whether it has a value or there is no value. Okay. So let we equal to something. For example, hello world. Okay. So which means the possible number is an optional string whether it has a value which is equal to hello world or no value at all. If we don't have the hello world this line, which means the default value of the possible number is just nil. So nil means there's no value, okay? But we give it a value, but it's just optional. We can't confirm that it has a value of hello world. It's just optional. We still don't know, okay? Not sure about that, okay? But we let forced number. It's a string, the type of string, and equal to possible. Okay. Okay. Now we print it out. Print the fourth number. So what's that mean? Okay, see, you can print it out, okay? Because it said value of option type string, not unwrapped. So if you want to get a number, you want to get the number from the possible number. Oh, hold on. possible number, okay? If you want the first number to get a value from the possible number, you have to wrap it, okay? You have to unwrap the optional to get the excess value, okay? So how do we do that? We just add an exclamation mark. The exclamation mark we just previously said is just a talk, okay, I know that is optional. This optional definitely had a value. Please use it. So I know that the possible number has a value which is hello world. So please use it. I want right now the first number is type of string to equal to that. Okay? But this is not implicit unwrapping optional. What is implicit unwrapping optional? Implicit unwrapping optional talk is like is useful when the optional value is confirmed to exist. So how do we confirm that the optional value is confirmed? How do we confirm the optional value? So we just directly replace this question mark to exclamation mark, and we just remove this one. So right now, I know, okay, the possible number is a type of string, and it's definitely a type of string which has a value of hello world. Okay, I'm really sure about that, and so I can let the first number, which is type of string, to equal to possible value without unwrapping it. I can get access it. So after that, after code that the value can be assumed to exist at every time. Okay, when you first define this, the possible value is assumed to be exist at every point in time. This is really important conception in Swift, which is totally different from other programming language. And this is also like optional binding. Optional binding is more about the control flow, the conditional statement. I will cover in the when we learned the control flow. Okay, so we will not talk about it today, but we will talk later when we learned that. Okay, so basically this that's the content of today's learning course. The first is integer and integer bounds. The second is type safe and type inference, and the third one is booleans. The fourth one, the most important one, is optional. Okay, which is really important. Okay, so because we are learning together, and if you have further comments or questions, please let me know. It's really important for me to improve myself as well as you. Thank you for thank you for letting me have the introduction of the Swift language for you guys. Thank you very much, and bye bye.